First of all, just like to say a big thank you for your lovely, lovely drawings. They were really lovely.
Fantastic.
And, yeah, brilliant. There's a lot of artists there,
Yeah.
and it was lovely to see your interpretation of our boat.
Absolutely. We really enjoyed reading every single one of those letters and looking at all the drawings. Unfortunately, we've got nowhere in the boat to hang all those drawings up. We haven't got enough space. Anyway, you send us all these great questions, and we thought we would try and get back to you and tell you how we're doing. So, how is your journey? Was the first one.
Journey's good. We've had fantastic weather. Apart from the last couple of days, we've had a bit of rain, but we've still seen sunshine every day. We've been on the Costa Islands for the last few days, looking at the visitor centre and doing lots of walks, looking at lots of nature. And today we're in a place called Stromstad, which is a little bit further north because we're heading towards Norway. And today is midsummer, so it's a very special celebration that
Big
they
day.
do in Sweden.
Yep.
And so we're off to go to a party a bit later on today.
Yeah. So, it's been hot and it's been quite cool at times, but I think the maximum temperature has been only about 25 degrees. So actually, not as hot as it's been in England this summer. And we're very lucky because we haven't actually had much in the way of bad weather. Just a few days when the wind was a little bit too high, bit frisky to sail. And Sweden is not a very busy place. That was one of the questions, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. How many million people? 14,
I think it's 12 or 14
million
million people, but in an area the size of the whole of the UK. So, and we have 68 million people, which means that we're probably only we're 5 times more busy
populated
in the UK. Yeah.
So it's been really nice actually, not seeing too many people. It's great.
Yeah. Have we seen any interesting animals? Was another question.
Seen a few seals.
We've seen some seals and just the occasional dolphin.
Yeah, lots of birds, but
So
no elk or moose or wild boar yet.
who
So,
knows? Keep our fingers crossed for when we go to Norway.
Yeah, we keep looking, but we haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah. Have you seen, caught or eaten any herring or any other fish? Now, this is really interesting because I usually catch the fish, but I haven't caught anything. But the boss has.
Yeah, I caught 2 mackerel.
Lovely
the other day.
mackerel, yeah.
So we put one back in because it was a little bit small, but we had one for tea, which was very tasty.
Yummy, absolutely. Someone asked, have we been pinched by a crab? No.
Thank goodness, because some of the crabs I think are quite big here.
Yeah. And another one was, have you seen a starfish? Well, we've sent you a video showing you some of the lovely starfish that you can see in the water around here. So yes, we have.
We did see a tiny one about that big in the very shallows the other day when we were paddling in the sea.
Yeah. Someone asked, have you been rock pooling and gone for walks? Well, the answer is yes. There's lots of walks, and they're quite different in Sweden because the paths lead over lots of rocks, huge rocks. So you have to follow paint marks all the way along because you can't see where the walk is.
Yeah.
So it's really very strange.
It's very wild out here, actually.
Wild.
It's a bit like, if anybody's been to Canada, it's a bit like Canada. There's very few people around, and you walk out into the wild and you don't see anybody. But it's very safe. There's no wild animals here.
A very good question was, what is the deepest sea we've been in? Well, actually that was coming from our last port to the Cloister Islands. 254 metres deep.
That's deep.
That's deeper than most of the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah,
It's
amazing.
really deep.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, here's a good question. Have you been swimming in the sea?
Yes, we have. Only twice though, because It's still a little bit cold, but it's still a lot warmer than the UK.
So we got up this morning and we went for a dip, didn't we?
We did,
It was
before
lovely.
breakfast.
Oh,
And the temperature is around about 19 to 20 degrees, but the Swedes say if it's 22 degrees it's perfect, but we're getting there. But it was very nice, very, very clean water.
one of you asked, have we seen any cats and dogs on boats? And the answer is yes, we see lots of cats and dogs on boats. But the funniest thing, one of the smallest sailing boats came into harbour the other day with a St Bernard on it. It was huge.
I think it must have had its own bed on board.
I think it must have, it took up almost the whole of the cockpit space where you steer the boat.
Yeah.
So it was really funny to see this. It even had its own special life jacket.
Yeah, just in case it fell overboard.
Yeah. And you've also asked what's it like to live inside our boat, Tanamara. Now, as you're probably aware, the name Tanamara is Gaelic.
For home by the sea.
Home by the sea. So it's our home, and we've taken a few video shots of the inside of the boat for you.
So you can understand how we live when we're on board.
This is the centre of the boat, and you can see we've got a big table where we can sit about 6 people. We don't have a TV here. Sadie has to put up with me playing my ukulele. Sadie has to wear earplugs when I'm playing. Our boat's got 3 bedrooms, but this is the main one, and it's at the front of the boat. That's why it's shaped like a big V. We've got a shower, and we've got a little sink, and we've got a sea toilet. Now this is a special toilet, so all of the stuff that you put down it gets pumped into a special tank which is hidden behind this panel. Underneath the steps is the most important part of the boat. It's actually our engine room. Turn the light on. You've lost the light.
I have.
You've lost the light.
Right in here.
Oh, here we are. Ah,
Where is it?
click. Yeah, there we are. Sadie's a born mechanic. So here you are. There's the engine, and that pushes the boat along when there isn't any wind. Sadie's a really good cook. Come on, dear. Smile for the camera. What are you cooking tonight?
Sweet and sour chicken.
Yeah, yummy.
Using our electric hob tonight.
Yep, because we are alongside the pier and we can plug into the shore power.
Yeah.
And if we don't, underneath there is an oven, which means we can use a gas.
So there's a 3-burner stove on top,
Yep.
and then a big oven underneath.
And here's the most important place that I live.
The kitchen.
This is my sink.
No, it's not. You're very rarely there. This is a very unusual sight. Martin is just putting it on for show, but he can actually wash up.
I do. So the boat's quite small, so we haven't got room for a dishwashing machine. So we've got me. Wash day means lots of clothes hanging up in the cockpit. So when it's not wash day, we normally live outside in the cockpit. When we're sailing, we use these 2 steering wheels to control the boat, and we can look up, see the mast where all the sails are hung, and then when it gets a bit cold we can get under this cover. We're in the harbour at the moment, so we've got our seats out to make it nice and comfortable. Look what's happening in the background, a big cruise ship's coming in. Wow, it's a bit bigger than us.